Oh, you guys bought some freaking aloe because we're gonna get some freaking butthurt today. And before we actually get into this little bit of a potentially irritating or potentially inflammatory topic, I actually want to have a little bit of a disclosure here. So, any persons or channels or communities mentioned within this video, please do not go out there and harass or make death threats or otherwise be a meanie head at these individuals or individual channels. That is not conducive to a civil discussion about the topic we're discussing today. So, no, it's no, don't do that. No. But what we're actually wanting to talk about today is embedded viewers and how that actually affects viewer counts on Twitch. So if you actually remember a while back, I did make a Reddit post where I was kind of discussing a particular instance of embedded viewers and how that actually influenced an individual stream. So this stream was called Fextra's Life, and this one was streaming Elder Scrolls Online at the time of me making this post. And what was kind of interesting about it was that this stream had over 12,000 viewers, which is mighty impressive for Elder Scrolls Online, because one of the top streamers we have for Elder Scrolls Online, Fegrush being the main one, gets around 4,000 to 5,000 viewers at any given moment, and yet this individual right here is able to well surpass that by thousands, by a factor of 3 in some instances. And the thing is, that actually kind of made me question the legitimacy of this viewer count. So if you actually go over to the viewer list that the channel currently had, and this was gathered at the time of that 12,000 viewer count, so this is the viewer list at the exact same time. And this is just a snapshot of it. It's not the actual Word document because I didn't save the document, but this is still applicable even to their streams nowadays. But if you take a look at their viewer list, copy and paste it into your favorite Word document, and then actually examine how many words are there, i.e. the amount of people who are actually logged on to Twitch watching the stream, you can see that is 340. What? A little bit different than 12,000 people, don't you think? Where are the other 11,000 viewers at? And the thing is, I actually thought this was viewbotting at first, or some other weird metric, but to actually give a little bit of background information, there actually is some helpful Twitch articles here that kind of shed some light here. So, understanding the difference between viewer count and viewer list. And essentially, viewer count is the amount of people watching the stream, the amount of eyeballs that are on the stream itself. That includes from sources on Twitch and not on Twitch. And it also includes people who are logged on and not logged on. Viewer list, on the other hand, is just the amount of people who are logged on Twitch or any other platform. So that's a kind of interesting thing to think about, because viewer count can actually be grossly more inflated than the viewer list, because say this person is a much more generally applicable streamer and they tend to have a lot of viewers who don't actually have accounts on Twitch. So say somebody advertises on YouTube and then they have a Twitch stream, and this Twitch stream thusly has a bunch of people who are not actually Twitch members but who are just there for the streamer. Stuff like that can actually happen. The rule of thumb I tend to use in situation is either doubling to quadrupling the viewer list to see if that is within the universal possibility of being within a legitimate viewer count. So say if somebody has 1,000 viewers on the viewer list, I would quadruple that to double that, and saying they probably at maximum could have 4,000 to 2,000 viewers who are not actually logged in and on the viewer list. But this also just highly varies depending on how niche the channel is, how accessible the channel is to audience members that may not actually be typical goers on Twitch, and a bunch of other factors like that. So that's just one little small article about that, and I'll link all of these websites I have down below if you want to read them for yourself. So that could actually be the case here. This person could potentially, this stream could actually potentially have over 11,000 people who are not actually logged onto their Twitch account, but who are just kind of watching passively. That could be an instance that'd be very unlikely, to admit it, to be very blunt. That would be very unlikely, because rarely do you have a factor of 10 or 20 times your viewer list being actually inactive members, but there's actually a potential counter-argument saying, well, isn't this just simply view botting? Well, let's actually take a look at that view botting article Twitch has here. And like I said, this will also be linked down below if you want to see this as well. But I want you to pay attention for an interesting line in here. View botting is the practice of artificially inflating a live viewer count using illegitimate scripts or tools to make the channel appear to have more concurrent viewerships than it actually does. And the big focus here is on using illegitimate scripts or tools. There actually is legitimate ways to do this. It is important not to confuse this with a legitimate rise in current viewership, such as being hosted or rated, the channel being embedded elsewhere, or some other promotional source, say if the stream is being advertised on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, places like that. That's a potentially situation in which you can actually get a rise in viewer count there that actually is considered legitimate by Twitch. But the big thing here to note about is the channel being embedded elsewhere, because if you listen to the name Fextra's Life, you actually may be aware of the actual implication. Fextra's Life actually has a wiki page for Elder Scrolls Online, as well as a bunch of other games, I believe, as well, but this is just the one I'm focusing on right now. And the thing is, if you notice, right above my furry face is their stream. Of course, it's offline right now, but imagine if this is online, and you have all the people who are going onto this Elder Scrolls wiki to look up, say, item sets. Well, now they count towards the viewer count towards Fextra's Life, but as you can see, there's no way for me to actually chat in the stream, so there's actually no way for me to get onto the viewer list itself. And actually, from what I understand, all the times I've actually been on this page, I don't think the stream itself is even muted, or unmuted. So it's like a silent stream going on in the background, and yet I would be counting towards the overall viewer count, in this instance, towards the 12,000 other people who are actually on this wiki page, but actually not watching the stream itself. So it's kind of an unusual situation in which Twitch does not allow view botting, but yet they'll allow people to embed their stream into other places and then artificially inflate their viewers that way. So it's kind of a weird little contradictory paradigm that Twitch is in, where they allow one thing that artificially inflates, but do not allow the other thing. And the thing is, they actually have an explanation as to why they don't allow view botting to begin with. View botting and selling view botting services are against our terms of service. View and follow botting are both damaging to the community because it is a form of cheating that takes away growth and opportunities from other legitimate broadcasters. Furthermore, it works like steroids for a channel, with all the negative side effects included. False viewer growth is not conducive to establishing a career in broadcasting because the viewers do not actually contribute to your success as a broadcaster. Once a guilty party is caught, and they are, which usually happens during, say, when you're getting verified for a partnership with Twitch, botting leads to an immediate and indefinite end of that career. In the meantime, sellers of view botting services make a lot of money off the broadcaster, making false promises of partnership. Now, in this instance, you kind of take that with a grain of salt, because you have to remember, this is technically not view botting, because Fextra's Life is not using a script to flood Twitch with a bunch of illegitimate viewers and then cause, say, a huge explosion in their viewer count, nor are they using follow bots, nor are they using chat bots to actually make it seem like there's a lot more people in there than actually exist. So that is one thing to consider. So this is still allowed. It is a legitimate way to increase your viewership, according to Twitch. According to Twitch, this is a legitimate viewership, and yet it still has the potential negative side effects of view botting nonetheless. So the question then becomes, why does Twitch actually allow such an instance of view botting? That's kind of a weird little paradigm that I actually just kind of wanted to bring to the forefront to your attention. Because the thing is, this is actually not a very common situation to happen. What Fextra's Life is doing with their streams is very unusual, because you have to remember, this requires them to have their own website that is a wiki page that is also very popular. It is very, very rare to have a web page that is this popular and to actually have the opportunity to embed your stream onto such a platform. I mean, I can't just embed my website onto, say, my own pandalius.com/hentai, and I can't actually make any sort of actual prominent growth for that because I wouldn't have anybody watching that page. Extras Life just kind of has a different situation that allows them to do such a thing. So I just wanted to bring that to you. Whether or not that is actually good or bad, we'll leave that to the discussion after this. So I want to thank you all for... And before I actually forget about this, I actually want to bring up a couple of counterpoints that were presented to me during, say, this Reddit post itself. And one of them was actually about, how is this actually affecting you? Well, you could always go back to the Twitch article about how viewbotting is bad itself and actually apply that to the situation as well. But as an individual streamer, it doesn't really actually affect me a whole bunch. In fact, you probably could even make the argument that it even benefits me. But the thing is that with Vextra's Life getting 12,000 viewers, it doesn't really change my view at all. It doesn't really change my viewers at all. If anything, it probably brings in more people to Elder Scrolls Online, and probably gives me a higher chance of actually getting somebody. But at the same time, it's also potentially an instance of cheating in a way? Question mark, question mark. So, I mean, even if viewbotting may be beneficial to some aspect of some community members, is it really something that we should all be promoting? And like I said, this isn't really viewbotting. This is just embedding, which is or is not equivalent depending on who you ask. So that is actually something to actually consider itself when actually talking about this whole situation with embedded viewers. But I don't know, what do you guys think about the situation? Should Twitch allow embedded viewers as a legitimate way to increase your viewer count, or should they actually kind of treat it similar to lurking? Let me know down below, and I'll see you next time, guys. Thank you all for watching, and kisses.